My junkie mother lied to my face about who my dad was for almost 20 years. So did the rest of my maternal family. I 19F, just found out that the man I thought was my dad probably isn't. I'm still in shock and trying to process everything. I've been through a lot in my life, but this has to be one of the most confusing and painful things I've had to face. It feels like my whole world has been flipped upside down, and I'm not sure what to think or how to feel. For context, my mother is a drug addict, and so is the man I have always believed to be my father. He was mostly absent and didn't really play a role in my life, and to be honest, I've always hated him for that. But even though he was hardly around, I loved the rest of my paternal family. They were my safe haven, my escape from the chaotic life I lived with my maternal grandmother, court-ordered. Being with them felt like a breath of fresh air, a way to get away from everything that was wrong in my life, despite always having subconsciously felt like I was treated differently compared to my brother and cousins when I was with them. It was like I was part of their family but never fully accepted. I've always said I don't believe my dad is my real dad. Always. I don't look like them, other than having the same blonde hair as my cousins did when we were little and being tall for a girl. My dad is 6 feet 3 inches. But there was always this nagging feeling in the back of my mind, something telling me that I didn't quite fit in, that I wasn't really one of them. I tried to ignore it, to push it down and not think about it, but it was always there, lingering just beneath the surface top. A few days ago, an outside source told me they overheard my maternal aunt and her boyfriend having an argument, and he was using me as blackmail to get my aunt to do whatever he wanted at the time. Apparently, it was something along the lines of, you know who would like to know about her sisters, wouldn't she? That threw me for a loop because I don't have sisters, or at least, that's what I thought. It felt like a punch to the gut, hearing that there might be this whole other part of my life that I didn't know about, like there were secrets being kept from me. I sat on it for a little while, did a bit of Facebook sleuthing, and compared timelines. I was scared to find out more but knew I had to. Eventually, I confronted my mother. I knew if I asked her straight up, it would just go the same way it has always gone when I've questioned my paternity. She'd deny everything, make excuses, or just outright lie. So, instead, I just name-dropped the man I believe could actually be my father over text. Just his name, nothing else. I figured that might be enough to get some kind of reaction from her. She messaged back instantly and tried to act like she had no idea what I was talking about, but I could tell I had hit the nail on the head when she dropped the act and told me to ring her. I knew then that there was something she wasn't telling me, something she'd been hiding all these years. Turns out, she slept with this man while off her face when my father was in prison. She says she had a period, my father got out of prison, and then she fell pregnant with me. She claims this all happened over a span of about 10 days, but she couldn't give me anything concrete because of how drugged up she was at the time. I obviously don't believe her about the period. It seems a bit too convenient, like she's trying to cover up the truth with some half-baked story. Anyway, I ordered a DNA test and asked my brother to do it with me to see if we're full or half siblings. I don't know what to think about any of this. If it comes back that we are half siblings, it will mean I'm left completely alone without a family. My paternal family isn't the type to want anything to do with me if it turns out I'm not related, and I'm completely cutting off my maternal family after my mother gives me the money back for the DNA test. Depending on the results, I might also be changing my last name. I feel uncomfortable with one that might be a lie. So, I'm going to make her pay for that too. It's a shame because I've always loved the way my first and last name sounded together. It was one of the few things about my identity that I felt good about, that felt like it belonged to me. But now, I'm trying to look on the bright side. I can make a name for myself literally. It could be a fresh start, which is something I desperately need right now, especially considering I tried to end my life not even a month ago and ended up in the hospital for a few days. I've been struggling a lot, and this news just feels like another blow. But maybe, just maybe, it's an opportunity to rebuild my life on my terms.